Today, we're unraveling one of the greatest mysteries in ancient history, the Bronze Age collapse. Around 1200 BCE, thriving civilizations across the eastern Mediterranean and Near East suddenly fell into ruin. What caused this widespread collapse, and how did it reshape the ancient world? Join us as we explore the theories and evidence behind this catastrophic event that changed the course of history. Our story begins in the late Bronze Age, a period marked by advanced civilizations, extensive trade networks, and significant cultural achievements. During this time, the Eastern Mediterranean was home to powerful states like the Mycenaean Greeks, the Hittite Empire, the Egyptian New Kingdom, and the kingdoms of Mesopotamia. These civilizations were interconnected through trade, diplomacy, and sometimes warfare. The Bronze Age was a time of prosperity and innovation. The use of bronze tools and weapons revolutionized agriculture, warfare, and craftsmanship. Trade routes crisscrossed the region, bringing goods like copper, tin, gold, and luxury items to the great palaces and cities of the time. The city of Ugarit, for example, was a hub of commerce, connecting Egypt, Anatolia, and the Levant. But around 1200 BCE, this flourishing world began to unravel. Within a few decades, many of these once mighty civilizations collapsed. The Mycenaean palaces were abandoned, the Hittite Empire fell, and cities like Ugarit were destroyed. The written records of the time grow sparse, and the archaeological evidence shows widespread destruction and depopulation. So what caused this widespread collapse? Historians and archaeologists have proposed several theories, each offering a piece of the puzzle. One of the leading theories is the invasion of the so-called Sea Peoples. These mysterious groups, whose origins are still debated, appeared suddenly in the historical record, attacking and plundering coastal cities across the eastern Mediterranean. Egyptian records describe them as formidable warriors who brought chaos and destruction. Another contributing factor may have been climate change. Studies of ancient pollen samples and sediment cores suggest that the eastern Mediterranean experienced a prolonged period of drought during the late Bronze Age. This environmental stress could have led to crop failures, food shortages, and increased competition for resources, exacerbating tensions and triggering conflicts. Internal revolts and social unrest also likely played a role. The centralized governments and bureaucracies of the Bronze Age were dependent on the labor and loyalty of their populations. As resources became scarce and pressures mounted, these societies may have fractured from within. There is evidence of widespread destruction of palaces and administrative centers, possibly at the hands of rebellious subjects. Economic factors cannot be overlooked. The Bronze Age economy was built on long-distance trade, particularly in metals like copper and tin, which were essential for making bronze. Disruptions to these trade networks, whether due to piracy, warfare, or the collapse of trading partners, could have had a devastating impact on these economies, leading to a downward spiral. The combination of these factors, external invasions, environmental changes, social upheaval, and economic collapse, likely contributed to the Bronze Age collapse. It wasn't a single event, but a series of interconnected crises that unfolded over several decades, leading to the decline of some of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world. The aftermath of the Bronze Age collapse ushered in a period often referred to as the Dark Ages. With the fall of great cities and the breakdown of trade networks, there was a significant loss of knowledge, literacy, and cultural achievements. However, it was also a time of transformation. New peoples and cultures emerged from the ruins, laying the foundations for the Iron Age civilizations that would eventually rise to prominence.